Welcome, dear friends, to another journey into the unusually literal urban jungle, the Tokyo jungle. I'm Un, and this is I Played a Thing. A few orders of business before we get started. First off, last episode I discovered that survival mode still eats up a lot of runtime even after fast-forwarding. So, from here forward, I think I'll just be clipping most of it out entirely and just including the highlights. If you'd prefer another approach, do feel free to speak your mind, but I suspect that's how it's gonna work. Also, since this LP seems to be mildly cursed, I finished capturing the game footage for this episode, and then switched over to my microphone recording, only to find that Audacity had quietly sharded itself and dropped my audio data on the floor. So, we are post-commentary today. I'll attempt to return to real-time next episode, hopefully without incident. Well then, preliminaries covered, let's get down to business. Alright, we've done a lot of grazing lately, so I think it's about time we did a little hunting. Besides, we haven't gotten the animal unlock challenge for the Pom yet, so Pom it is. The first development of significance was doing a 2-animal hunt challenge. That gets us a nice little life bonus. And then, with a little more successful hunting, we'll be able to complete a level up challenge. And reaching veteran there gave us a little more attack power. Next challenge down was a marking one for some extra defense, making pretty good progress here. Also, the Queen of the Gazelles has come to Yoyogi Park. I don't think we'll have an opportunity to meet the Queen, but that's a thing that can happen. And then a challenge activated for taking over Shibuya Station, which I had already done. Easy peasy. And here I am, finding the first of the archives for this outing. That's 1/3 of the way to our next story mission. And here's a new consumable, so let's take a look at that. Portable bed allows sleeping and mating anywhere. That can be very handy if you need to pass the night or advance a generation and you don't have ready access to a nest. There's 2 of 3 archives. And there's number 3. So we can now move on to Shattered Pride whenever we're done with this survival mode. Well, we had a winning over a mate challenge there, and hey, any port in a storm. And now that we have a mate, it should be fairly simple to do the Advance 1 Generation challenge. But time is running pretty low for that, so I just went ahead and used the portable bed. You know, even though it was a desperate mate, we got a pretty good spread of stats from that, and earned a trophy while we were at it. Here's that thing about being able to command your packmates to attack, which I never remember is a thing. I'll try to remember to show it off eventually. And now we finally activated the challenge for the next animal unlock, which will be the cat. It looks like the cat's own Shibuya shop district, which is why that shows a lot of food. We're gonna have a lot of kitties to deal with. And getting to Shibuya Shop District also completed a challenge. Nice bonus along the way. We can't see anything on the minimap right now because it's raining heavily, but you're probably hearing the meows. Also, challenges can sometimes activate additional animals to the obvious ones, so there'll be a lot of rabbits here. Cat's gotta have something to prey on, right? And it seems the cats involved in this challenge are unusually weak, because I am very handily one-shotting them, and they're not doing very much damage to me. I don't know if that's a particular quirk of the challenge to take over the territory from the cats. They have statistically different cats from the usual, or if it's just a function of the stats I've gained. Of course, it could be both. Anyway, taking over the territory doesn't mean we have to actually defeat all the cats. All we have to do is mark all the marking points, and then the territory will be ours. Of course, the massive number of cats are going to be all over us, and even though they're not a grave threat, we'll probably want to get them out of our hair so we can mark in peace. Also, with the hordes of cats around that are very easy to bring down, that means we're not going to have any trouble with food for quite a while. Certainly not for the duration of this challenge, anyway. Getting enough calories to level up to boss should also be no problem whatsoever. You'll notice that even when you're playing as a predator, plant life still spawns. You can't do anything with it, so I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it's just for verisimilitude. Not that this game tends to be particularly concerned with that. One thing that's nice is that you get lots of time for the cat challenge. We've got 25 years to get that done. What would a rabbit be doing with a nail file? Well, really, what would any animals be doing carrying around items, I suppose? Like I said, not a game usually concerned with verisimilitude. Alright, we have reached boss, so no need to do any more fighting with the cats unless we have to clear them away from a marking point, or just needing the boost to our hunger gauge. Pardon me there, I was just checking my challenge list. And now that the rain has stopped, we can see all the blips of the cats and rabbits all over the minimap, and even with the massacre we've been inflicting, and I do apologize to any cat lovers watching this, I do like cats myself, not as much as dogs, but I do like them. As I was saying though, even with the massacre we've been inflicting, there are still quite a lot of critters around. A lot of these species-specific challenges will just throw hordes at you, and sometimes even single animal related events, like if there's a particular boss fight that randomly spawns, they'll usually have quite the entourage. Or they may be surrounded by species that they like to prey upon. It's fairly rare that a single animal or species challenge will just involve that particular creature or species. The game is not that merciful. It looks like the cats have been doing some hunting. At least I assume that's why there's a trio of dead rabbits just lying around. One more marking point to go, and then we will have taken over the shop district, and we'll be able to purchase the cat when we're done here. Or should I say, we'll be able to purchase the cats, plural. You'll see when we get there. And if you're hearing a lot of chatter in the background, some of the housemates, including Goji and Dai, are currently watching Salty Bet. We have successfully claimed the cat's territory. And in doing so, we have unlocked the cat. So once we get out of here, we'll have a story mission ready, and we'll also be able to do a little animal shopping. And being a boss, we can also find a very lovely lady in hopefully do a little quality genetic perpetuation. Sorry, I find myself having to grope for new euphemisms. Alright, now that there are no critters around, we can do the needful. Not as many stats as we got from the Desperate Mate, but bigger stat gains, and quite an impressive little posse of palms. Here you can see me just using one of the shallow sewer underpasses to go just a little bit below street level, as I did in one of the previous story missions. And a new animal type, the Lycaean. Now these are much more commonly known as painted dogs, or African wild dogs, or African hunting dogs. I'm not entirely sure why the game calls them Lycaeans. Well, I kinda understand why that is, because the scientific name for them is Lycaean pictus, but using Lycaean as a casual, colloquial type name, I've never heard of that before. Maybe it's a Japanese thing. Back when I was in Pittsburgh, we used to have a nice little pack of them on display, but unfortunately a kid fell into the enclosure and was killed by them, so that exhibit was closed, and all of the painted dogs have been moved to other zoos. But never mind that. We're in the sewer. Probably a familiar-looking part of the sewer, if you remember the Beagle story mission that we had down here. But we'll be exploring a little further beyond the limits of that mission. More painted dogs. And because they are only one size bigger than the Pomeranian, we can clean kill them. That'll keep us well fed down here. We can take 3 bites of each. And a little pet food, too. And that'll help us, once again, reach the boss ranking soon. I've mentioned it before, but all the purple water in the sewer is usable if you're really desperate for hunger meter, but it will poison you quite a bit. If you have 0 toxicity, though, and don't expect to have more anytime soon, it can be a worthwhile trade-off under the right circumstances. And as you saw there, actually stepping in the water is harmless. You have to actually drink it to get a toxicity buildup from it. More painted dogs. You need to pay attention, guys. Oh, that timer that sometimes appears above animals' heads. You'll see them bark, or whatever it is they do, and you'll hear a bell sound. That's them calling for reinforcements. So, if you don't want to get any more of the critter in question coming to swarm you, then you'll want to focus your attacks on the one that's about to call for help. Of course, if you just want something to eat, then having more of them around may be for the best. The eating in the sewers is surprisingly good. Not too many really dangerous critters either. I mean, the Lycaean isn't something you can completely sleep on, but as you've seen, we can certainly quick kill them, and they don't do too much damage. Shouldn't be too much farther now. What I'm looking to do is get through that shortcut to Shibuya Station. We can then open that shortcut from beneath, and also it appears the Yokozuna is hanging out there. That's the same special Tosa Inu that we had to fight in the story mission. And remember what I said about even unique boss animals often having a pretty big entourage? Well, the Yokozuna in this case has a lot of jackals hanging out. They're not actually his entourage because he will attack them as well as you, but for whatever reason, the Yokozuna always shows up with a bunch of jackals. I think I might be able to get a unique piece of equipment for defeating the Yokozuna, but a Pomeranian, or even a family of Poms against a particularly powerful Tosa Inu, I'm not sure I like those odds. We can drop the jackals relatively easily to get ourselves fed, though. And I really probably should have focused on stopping that one that's about to call for help, but it didn't really register to me at the time. Also, something else you've probably seen me doing, when I quick kill an enemy or combo kill an enemy, I jump away. Yeah, you can kind of cancel out your killing animation that way, and so you'll recover quickly after the quick kill. God, there's just jackals everywhere. They're becoming more of an issue than the Yokozuna is. I haven't even gotten within spitting distance of him. They're really kind of tearing up my family, too. And that's all she wrote. Tanya, Rachel, if you see this, I'm holding you personally responsible. Well, being jackal swarmed into oblivion, fighting for our lives, is, I suppose, a fairly honorable death for a Pomeranian, especially considering how many of them we took down with us. Overall, not a bad run. And a successful run of a survival mode stretch means we get some more things to read. Anonymous user 9/15/2027. A friend and I saw a strange creature while walking in Yoyogi Park the other day. It was similar to a bird that walked on 4 legs. And same day, I saw a strange creature eat a bird in Yoyogi Park as well. Was walking there one night, and you know that pond in the middle? I thought I saw an animal at the water's edge like a giant lizard, but it ran off on its hind legs before I could get a picture. Maybe it wasn't even a bird, as it had teeth. Are people starting to see dinosaurs even before humanity was removed from the picture? Could be. Body found in Yoyogi Park. In the early morning of the 18th, a man was found collapsed on the ground in Yoyogi Park. Shibuya police rushed to the scene, but he was already dead. Police are reporting that he had suffered so many bites or scratches that it is difficult to identify the remains. They believe he may have been involved in some kind of violent encounter and are working hard to get an ID. That could be one of the regular animal swarms, or it could be more dinosaurs. And the self-defense forces captured the strange beast that had been sighted in Yoyogi Park. Analysis revealed that it is most likely a carnivorous dinosaur known as a Deinonychus from the lower Cretaceous period of the Mesozoic era. There is only a slim chance of a similar incident occurring again, but reports say it will be some time before the space-time disturbance can be stabilized. Definitely dinosaurs. And space-time disturbance? This is getting weird, but with all these events taking place so close to each other, one must assume that it has something to do with the animals going crazy. Needless to say, we'll be learning more about that later. But for now, a story mission. Act 5, Shattered Pride. Your pride as the top dog was shattered in the defeat by the Beagles, but you must elude them if you want to survive. So we're going to be able to see the Beagle-Tosa war from the other side. Oh, and there he is, dragging away the Yokozuna's raiments. Oh boy, we came to the wrong neighborhood. Don't let the Beagles get you. Your only hope is to flee your territory. Alright, it looks like the straightforward path to that checkpoint is closed off by wrecked trucks and so on. As we've seen before, that'll often happen with story missions. There'll be obstacles that aren't there in the survival game, just to make you take a different path. Yeah, it looks like there's another barrier in the road up ahead. We're gonna have to take the highway. Not the highway, but the highway. And right there I was trying to attack, but I discovered I could not. Your attack button is actually locked off during this challenge, or story mission rather. You must run for it. Otherwise, even though you start off wounded and missing a lot of your HP, you would probably be able to take out all the Beagles if you really wanted to. Alright, that wasn't a real good run, and I think that's really about the only way it could have ended. Let's try that again. Already losing a little health, that's no good. And although our hunger gauge is in much better shape, it is starting to decrease. So we've got to get a move on, because with our attack button blocked off, we can't really do any hunting. Even if there were anything besides beagles around, which there doesn't seem to be. Yeah, no opportunity for stealth here. Alright, looks like we're on the other side of the barricade, so making it down to street level seems like a good next step. If we can survive that long. Well, so much for that. This time we're just gonna cut over to where we last fell. Let's see if we can continue on in a slightly better fashion this time. Now they're calling for help too, that's not good. And mind those dead ends. Alright, now that we've gotten down to street level, it looks like it should be a pretty straight shot to the checkpoint. Home stretch. And we made it. The Tosa lost not only his territory, but also the title of top dog. The Tosa can only run. Now he knows the feeling of humiliation. And while a somewhat difficult one, that was a pretty short mission. We got a trophy for it, though. Well, now that we're all caught up on archives and story missions, you know what comes next. Another survival run. And we can now purchase the cat. And we've got a good stock of survival points, so let's go ahead and do that. Wow, all those dots. Those all represent color variations, and we're just going to go ahead and buy them all. And there we are, a nice calico. An omen of bad luck. Is that a tortoiseshell? I think that's what that kind is called. There's a Morris the cat. And finally, the elegant combination of white fur and a blue collar. Should we try out the cat or go for another unlock that we haven't gotten yet? Go ahead, hon. Don't have to think about it that hard. Yeah, we haven't unlocked the animal available to the chick, so Even though the chick is kind of hard to stay alive with, we'll give that a shot, because we're going to want to get that unlock eventually. Alright, that's a marking challenge down, and we've also eaten enough to get to the second level. And as the adult chicken, we've succeeded in reaching Shibuya Shop District, and also attracting a high-quality mate. And a calorie challenge down. Our prime mate is still following us. We're gonna need to get to a nest sooner than later, but for completing all of the E challenges, we got the hero scarf. Let's try on the beanie while we're at it. Yeah, looking sharp. Do a little turn for the camera. But I'm not sure I want to waste equipment on the chicken, so I'll just do a little modeling and then take it off. Oh crap. And right about now I'm wishing I hadn't put off reproduction, because even though I'd have to reach adulthood again, I'd at least have some extra lives in the form of my offspring. Yeah, surviving for a good amount of time and completing challenges as the chick, not the easiest thing in the world. They're just so damn fragile. And until they grow up, very slow as well. Well, I don't feel like beating my head anymore against that wall right now. We've played as the Gazelle before, but died pretty quickly, and we didn't get its unlock either, so I think that'll be the next thing to try. Marking challenge down. Get a little boost to the hunger gauge there. And because I believe there's a generation challenge coming up, we'll go ahead and strike things up with a mid-range mate. I also may be a little once bitten, twice shy with the chicken about not having any offspring to carry on if my main character dies. Alright, a very minor stat boost there, but at least we've got some little gazelles to round out our posse. There's the generational challenge kicking in, or the reward from it kicking in. And our next animal unlock challenge is triggered as well, to claim territory from the pigs. Sometimes the reward messages and challenge messages stack up a little, and then you just kind of have to wait for the game to catch up. Anyway, by reaching this area, we have completed another challenge, and this is also where the pigs are. And we also got a sun visor. Now, normally pigs would not be at all interested in us because we are fellow grazers, but because of the nature of this challenge, which is taking over their territory, they are all as aggressive as they are numerous. In addition to the pig challenge and that region reaching challenge, here we also have the rest of our, or actually all of our archives for this particular stretch, so we'll get a lot done while we're here. All the pigs around, while not super dangerous, they do make it hard to eat or mark correctly. Here's one of our archives down. Ah, lovely mushroom. You bastards aren't the only ones around here that like truffles. I have to admit, I find the cacophony of angry grunting during this challenge pretty entertaining. Not sure exactly what I was looking for there, but never mind. I could have gone to the marking points a little more efficiently here, but I did want to prioritize picking up the next archive. Getting a level up in the process never hurts. There's one of the archives, so now I can double back and take care of that marking point we kind of glossed over. We won't be able to give them the slip by going into this underpass, but at least it protects us from direct attack for a moment or two. Always gotta stop for a fruit. Them some good calories. Holy shit, charged. But because these are fellow grazers and generally not particularly violent creatures, they really can't do a whole lot of damage. Damn it! If they gang up on... I can talk. If they gang up on you like that, though... I am starting to feel a little threatened after taking that rapid series of attacks, so I want to get this challenge over and done with and make sure I get the archives while I'm at it. Alright, we have unlocked our next story mission. May the best dog win. And the pig's territory is now ours. And that means the pig itself will be ours very soon as well. I think this is a good time for a little more sewer spelunking. There is some food down here as well. Might not expect very much to grow in the sewers, but, well, it's a gameplay consideration. Alligators in the sewers. Myth confirmed. And we've got another random event. An A-list celeb has been spotted in Yoyogi Park West. Well, I think we're gonna have to check that out. I mean, what gazelle worth its salt lick would miss an opportunity to rub elbows with the glitterati? Also, what is it with painted dogs in the sewers around here? And this sewer pipe should lead us up to Yoyogi Park East, and then we'll just have to make our way westward. Hey, does anyone remember that cartoon Yo Yogi, which was the Hanna-Barbera characters like Yogi Bear, Snagglepuss, and Huckleberry Hound all turned into hip 90s teenagers? Yeah, neither do I. Lots of food around here. We're already a boss, so no need to rack up the calories, but at least we don't have to worry about going hungry. But you know what we will have to worry about? Tigers. Maybe I should have tried to lure them up there to the hippo pond. If there's one thing I know about the animal kingdom, it is that you do not fuck with a hippo. Yeah, that's right. You saw nothing. Too bad gazelles don't care for takoyaki or yakisoba. Otherwise, we could make out like bandits at the old stalls there. And again, whatever they were storing in them, even if there were any leftovers, they'd probably have gone a little bit off. I don't think octopus is shelf-stable. Alright, we continue to creep our way westward, and should be able to meet up with the celeb pretty soon. Thought all the humans were gone, though. Well, we got a lot of action going on in the mini-map over to our immediate east. That must be where the crowds are gathering around the celebrity. Won't be long now. The celebrity is apparently a chimpanzee. So would that be Bonzo, Bubbles, Lance Link? Yes, the celebrity scene in Yoyogi Park West has left. Yes, left. That's what happened. Accidentally met up with the desperate female there. Well, we'll make the best of it. Well, 2 stat points and 1 offspring is better than nothing. Looks like most of the food is gone in Yoyogi Park East, and all of it is gone in Yoyogi Park West. But we did complete a challenge and get some extra HP, and that's not bad. And we are now making our way onto the Yamanote rail line. This is a very multi-level kind of area. There's the ground level, the station platform that is. There's going inside the trains, there's going on top of the trains. And when there's a route to them, you can go up on the station platforms as well. One of the downsides to the Yamanote line area is that there are often, well, I don't know if it's just my luck on the randomizer or what, I always seem to run into some pretty big predators around here. Not unlike the lioness we saw a few moments ago. And when you need to get on top of one of the train cars in a hurry or onto one of the station roofs, the Grazer's double jump comes in very handy here. So far we haven't been doing too bad on food, that's a plus. And a calorie challenge. I don't think I even noticed that was active, I was just eating stuff when I could get to it. We got some blips up ahead, what's it gonna be? Oh, lion cubs. That could be a bit of a problem. They are a moderate threat in and of themselves, but more worryingly, they can call in the whole family. So I really should have tried to take down the one calling for help, because suddenly I am up to my eyeballs in lionesses, and had to sacrifice my sibling to get away. Oh, and there's Dad. Couldn't one-shot him with the counter, but at least I was able to knock him over. hide in the grass while getting a little bite to eat. Oh, well, that didn't take. Still, not a bad run. We unlocked the pig, we got our archives, and we got to meet a famous person. And kick them into the stratosphere, but they left. That's what happened. They left. Alright, time to check our reading material. Numerous people go missing in Tokyo. Amid rising fears of a ballooning crime rate, a new disturbing trend has reared its ugly head. Large numbers of people are disappearing in Tokyo. Metro police say that missing person reports have risen 20 times the average over the past month. There are also many dubious reports from witnesses claiming that those who went missing vanished suddenly right in front of their eyes. So we've had crazy animals, dinosaurs appearing, humanity vanishing, and individual people vanishing with witnesses. Got a little confused here. I forgot that not all of the archives would appear consecutively on the list. Just gotta find my way down to the ones below the scroll there, below a couple of not obtains. There they are. FY 2021 Report on High-Level Research Aid Program. The Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology, MEXT, adopted the Quantum Research Institute's Research on the Localization of Wave Functions for use in its High-Level Research Center program that aims to develop top-level research and researchers. The Institute will receive financial aid for the next 10 years, and if it produces results within that period, aid may be extended for 5 more. October 5, 2021. MEXT approved our Research on the Localization of Wave Functions. To prevent any suspicions, I told the ministry that we were working toward practical applications in about 100 years. While in fact with this data, applications will likely be possible within the next few years. This is a big step towards saving them, but their time is short. I must speed up the project at all costs. Well, it sounds like we might be looking at something of a science gone wrong scenario here. And who are they? Well, we'll have no answers to that right now. We're looking at May the Best Dog Win. After being wounded in the battle with the Tosas, the Beagle boss is handing over leadership to one of 2 promising young Beagles. Your battle to be top dog is about to begin. So once again, we're getting to look at the Beagle-Tosa War from the Beagle side. The Beagles took over the Shibuya suburbs after clearing out the Tosas. But their boss was wounded in the battle and can no longer lead the pack, despite his Yokozuna gear. He has decided that one of his 2 young sons will take over. Mark all points faster than your rival and report in to become the new boss. The battle to see who becomes the new boss is about to begin. And I do like the way the doghouse there just says Pooch on it. Mark your territory before your rival. Check the map for marking points. And my first attempt at this mission was just an unmitigated train wreck, so I cut the whole thing out aside from the failure screen here. And just to add injury to insult, we got whacked by a hyena on our way out. Alright, let's try that again, this time without all the fuck-uppery. The routes we have to take to get to each of the 3 marking points are anything but straightforward. This mission involves a lot of vertical navigation and a lot of really roundabout and convoluted paths because all of the more direct paths are blocked by rubble or vehicles or what have you. Fortunately, you don't have to be perfect. You can get a little bit lost a few times and still beat your rival. And very helpfully, the game has scattered around some prey species and lesser predators, so you don't have to worry too much about your hunger gauge most of the time. Alright, that's one down. And this is definitely the marking point you want to hit first in this mission, because it's the only one that you're going to get to by going to the right at the starting point instead of to the left. So if you go for the two on the left first, you're going to have to do a lot of backtracking in order to come back here and get the one on the right. I wouldn't be surprised if it's technically possible to do that, but you'd have to be really tight with your pathing. Given my own navigational abilities, or lack thereof, I certainly wouldn't fancy my chances going that route. Hi, Dad. I'm not really sure what rabbits are even doing up here on the rooftops. Don't think they're very good climbers in nature. But the important thing is they're there, which means we can snack. And pigs are also pretty good for that purpose. Now that we're headed to the marking points that we need to go left at the beginning to find, things are going to start getting really complicated route-wise. First thing we need to do is get down to street level, but we're not going to be staying there for long despite what the map might lead you to believe. And I'm not sure whether hyenas are one size larger than beagles or the same size, but it makes no difference. The important thing is we can clean kill them. Alright, we do have some things to eat around here, but it looks like a lot of the street level paths are blocked off. But we might be able to get a little further that way. I feel like chicken tonight. And you really don't have to worry about the rival having gotten to the second point before you. The amount of time he takes to get from the second to the third is really long. Alright, we have wound our way around the various obstacles in our path, and located the second marking point up here on the rooftops. Not a terribly obvious place for it, but we found it. That's the important thing. Now we can wiggle our way back down to street level on the opposite side of the truck there. There are wolves, but we can eat them just like anything else. Just takes a little more work. Alright, we're gonna have to head quite a bit rightward in order to hit that last marking point. Your rival is steadily marking his territory. Don't let him finish first. If we sneak around here to the right, taking the ground level street as far as we can go, that should put us reasonably close to the marking point, and then we can try and figure out how to work our way around the buildings to the rest of it. Alright, we're very close. It's right there on the truck, hon. Is right there on the truck. I don't know where you're going. Turn around, me. You're making this much more difficult than it needs to be. No, it's not over there. See, you can't even climb that. And now you're starving and the whole thing's just completely going to pot. No, you... Ah! I am so exasperated with my past self right now. Yes, yes, good job! Right there on the truck, like I told you the last couple times. Alright. We no longer have to worry about anything our rival does. The race is over. We just have to get back to the boss now. That's going to involve a fair amount of backtracking, which is not a really good thing because I've gone and let my hunger situation get a little out of control. Just gonna have to get ourselves to something we can eat in a great hurry. Welp. Mercifully, we did get checkpointed back where we won the race, so not too much ground lost there. Do a little dance and drink a little water. Get back on the road. Now, to get back to Dad, we should be able to more or less retrace our path that we took to get here. Oh, hyena, where were you when I needed something to eat? Same goes for you, Wolfie. Much as it was the first time we came down this way, the path to get back is a little bit tricksy, but we now have all the time in the world. And did you see Samoyed Enterprises on the building back there? Unfortunately, Sammys are not an animal you can unlock in this game. That's too bad, they're pretty cute. And the cats back in the Cat Territory Challenge must indeed have been extra weak. Either that, or I had gained more points in attack power than I quite realized. Because that one just took 3 hits to bring down. And right there, we had a dead end with a bear sleeping in it. All my nope. Shock the monkey. Oh shit. Cheetah, and as you would expect, they are very fast movers. Fortunately, it didn't seem to have a particularly good attention span. Not the most observant of the feline family either. Yep, looks like he has pretty securely lost interest. Though it has been a while, I remember the cheetah being a very good all-purpose animal for survival mode. Fast, not too bad on the hunger gauge. Pretty good survivability. I think I ended up using the cheetah to do a lot of the longer-term challenges where you just have to really survive for a long time. It's pretty good size, too. Don't call anybody. Alright, little by little we are making our way back home. As long as we can steer clear of any further bears, cheetahs, or what have you, we should be just fine. Looks like I actually managed to piss off the crows. Didn't realize you could get the various avians in this game to want to give you some static. But none of that matters now. We've inherited the Yokozuna gear, and beat our rival to take the illustrious title of Beagle Boss. But your territory is under constant threat. Even the mighty will fall one day. But when that day will come depends on you, the young Beagle Boss. And that's one more story mission in the can. And seeing as we're coming up pretty close on the 1 hour mark, I think that's a good place to stop for now. Gentle friends and travelers, it has been a pleasure as always, and if you're the celebrating type, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. In fact, on that note, thank you for your support, your insights, and just for sharing the journey. I Played a Thing may be pretty small time as YouTube's gaming channels go, but it's still a lot bigger than I ever imagined it becoming, and I really do appreciate your part in making that happen and keeping the fire lit all these years. Well then, do take care, and I'll see you in the next episode of Tokyo Jungle. This is Un, signing off. And as always, I have some more specific thank yous to extend to such much appreciated patrons as Justin Carpenter, Nolden, Zangamarth, Charlie Dunst, Anonymous Benefactor, John Madigan, Sanguine Games, Misha Van Doren, Frank Grizzy, Tim J., Lolo De Puzzlo, Joshua C. Ritchie, Jared C. Rice, Darren Chow, Sonic Rose, EX Potemkin, Alicia Goranson, Argyle Jelly, Mechasaurus, DG Jono, Doug Russell, August Fortnite, Patrick Bellinger, Rob Lyons, and the rest of the pack. Much love to all commenters, subscribers, and watchers as well. Happy Thanksgiving once again, and see you real soon.